Alright, we're going to be looking at a tour of the Grand Canyon today and doing some pictures off of that. When we look at the Grand Canyon, the best place to go is Street View for that. There's tons of other ones, but I like Street View because you can actually walk through the bottom of the canyon. So when we look through here, see how you can look up? Instead of looking all the pictures a lot of times, when you're going through the virtual tours, is from the top and people doing stuff and everything, which those are cool. But Street View, you actually get to walk it on your own. Almost like a little tour of yourself with yourself and kind of walk around and look all over the place. There's some of the hikers there. And just look up there at the top. It is really cool. Now, I'm going to put the link on here for this too. And there's other ones as well. There's other parts of the park that you can look at where there's different stuff at. So you can go through and hike whichever one. There's the one I was doing. But you can hike whichever area you want on the Grand Canyon, USA, Street View. There's also the Google Earth one, which comes from above and zooms down, and that's another one that's pretty cool to look at. But when we're looking at our lovely little Grand Canyon pictures, you don't get the full effect as you do when you're actually walking through. So, walking through here, I'm going to be doing a picture off of one of my walks. So you can walk through and find one that you like. It kind of makes the canyon, you get down in there, you realize how big it is. And even from this perspective, going down in there, you're like, ooh, it's kind of neat, especially when you're walking it and going through it, instead of just looking at a still picture. So when I'm looking at this, I'm looking at my colors. You have these bright, usually blue skies, and then you have that really stark, the opposite color, which is oranges. So you got blue against oranges. That makes it just really, really pretty, and it really draws your eye, and that's what a lot of people like about the Grand Canyon, besides how large it is those that opposite colors. You know, they kind of make it really interesting. So when we look at those, and you can look at any picture. If you just want to look at a picture that you look up on Google, you're fine. Or you can go through and do your tour and walk through everything and pick out an area that you like to look at. And I'm going to be using some crayons. You can use color pencils and markers. You can use paint, whichever you kind of have around. Here's my paint that I like using. And pick out what you want to do. I kind of like starting with my crayon because that way I can go in and I'm going to pull out some browns and oranges and just a mix of different stuff. There's some yellow, and you will see in here there is green. And when I look at my picture, there's little green cactuses down here with some yellow flowers and other little areas. So if you want to add green in, you can pull a green in as well. But I really want to look at the mountains part of it. So if I'm walking down here, the one I was looking at has like that V. So I would start with where my ground meets the sky. So where my ground meets the sky, I have like a little V there where they're showing it. Depends on where you look at. You might not have a V if you're looking at the side of the mountain. That's a full mountain on the side. I'm looking at it from the trail going through, which has a V. And then I'm just going to look at my contour lines and where they go. And with these, there is steps. So when I look at the steps, I'm looking at that line. This kind of looks like where the ground meets the sky. So my ground is up high because I'm looking up at it instead of just straight across. More here is my view straight across, but then it goes up. So it's a little bit different than when you're just looking straight out like in a field or something like that, where it's flatter. You're looking up at it. And then where this trail goes, and with my perspective, my trail wider, further away. I'm walking into that trail. If you want to, mine's pretty straight here. If it goes twisted or whatever, it depends on what it is. It'll just be a curved line going in instead. So looking at it, then I gotta look here. And the really interesting thing is there's layers of color. Layers. So when I go on here, it's not gonna be all one color going up and down. It's layers side to side. So I kind of have to figure out my layers. And with my layers, you can look and see what they are. So there's an orange layer, there's a lighter orange layer, and then there is another layer, and looks like I can go with a dark brown right there. It's like a brown layer. So I'm drawing my layers. Now, to make it look rocky though, I want to color up and down. So when I go to do this, that really orange clay area, I want to go up and down, so up and down motion to get that rocky look. It's been chiseled away by that river, the Colorado River. So it's been going down and down and down and down. So I'm just going to alternate different colors going up and down. See how I'm doing it? Now I'm getting those layers of rock going on the whole way down until I get to my bottom. So I could keep working on this, but I'm going to actually attach more of a time lapse where you're going to see it being worked on and how this picture is going to come across pretty much just with crayon. Debating if I want to do a blue sky with watercolor or not, but I can also do it with the crayon. So I haven't decided yet about my sky, if I want to do it with my crayon or if I want to paint or if I want to do something else, chalk or any of that stuff. I haven't decided yet because sometimes skies I want that fluffy color. But I might just go ahead and do that with crayon as well. I don't know. But I love using crayons with this. But as I said, you can also use color pencil. You can also use marker. You can paint in the layers the same way. Paint your layers and go up and down. So go on your little virtual tour. I love going on a hike. Go on a hike. Find an area after hiking that you like to draw and then go ahead and decide what you want to do. Basically sky meets ground. And usually for most of these, we're looking up at the sky. So where that contour line is, and then where the layers of that rock is, where it's been slowly cut across from that Colorado River, is what you're going to be looking at. All right? So go on your virtual tour and have fun drawing the Grand Canyon.